I had an organic garden for years, and it did okay. But then one year, it didn't do okay. And then the next year, it didn't do okay again. And by the third year, I knew something was wrong. So I did some research, and I stopped tilling my garden and began to make garden beds. I turned my so-so garden into a vegetable jungle. You can make garden beds without it costing you any more money, and I would love to show you how.
All I have needs, I have not provided.
This is perfect for building up my garden beds. These are my supplements that I mix together for my garden. Please remember, this is not a secret formula. This is based on soil tests and experience. Please go get your soil tested and see what's best for you. I will be mixing together soil acidifier because my soil is naturally alkaline, Epsom salt, blood meal, and bone meal. And also in this bucket is ash from our fire pit. That's what works for me. At this stage, it's exciting, and yet it can be a bit overwhelming. This is the yard trash that I just picked up, and this is branches that a couple of hurricanes helped bring down out of our trees, and so they actually help build those beds in an incredible way. It's my version of hugelkultur. It's not quite as big as great big mound of limbs, but it works the same way. So I'm going to make use of all these branches, and let's get started. The first thing you want to do, get your bucket ready because it's going to be rotated out. And when I first started doing this, I thought I had to take the first 12 inches off the top. But I did find out after several seasons that that's not necessary. The information that had been given to me was that corn roots will go down a total of 24 inches. But yet, when I pulled them up, they weren't 24 inches down. They weren't even 12 inches down. What those roots did is they went where the fertile soil was, and they spread outward, not just down. And so I didn't see the sense of, enriching my soil 24 inches deep or even 12 inches deep if the roots weren't going to go there. Now be patient. I'm going to show you why I'm putting this dirt into the buckets. So this first section, I think I'm probably going about 8 inches deep here. And you might notice the soil is still somewhat sandy, but yet, I'll show you in a minute, it's actually darker than the rest of the sand on our property. keep going until I fill 3 buckets. Just because that's the system that I have in place. So I've removed the topsoil, and now I'm going to loosen up the soil that's underneath. Now there is a tool that you can get that will loosen up more soil at a time, but this works well for me. Now, here's where I throw all this, what I call yard trash. And it helps to build up the depth of your bed. And the corn loves it. I don't know what the difference is, but it really makes a big difference when you put these limbs at the bottom of your bed. I probably researched it at some point, but once I figure out that it's working, that's good enough for me. On top of that, I'll scoop a whole bunch of leaves. And now I go to the next section and I flip that dirt over the top. So I put a fairly thin layer of soil on top of the branches and the leaves. And I'm going to take a handful of my homemade concoction, and I'm just going to sprinkle some right over the top here. And I have to admit to you, this is the first year I've not had animal manure to put there. So that's why I have the fish emulsion to make up the difference. So you're going to continue the next section for about 3 feet. Until you have a space dug that's about the same size as the first one that you did. Do you see how I'm flipping the dirt over? Now this doesn't have to be an exact science. Just do it one section at a time and you'll get it done. Next stage, loosen up that soil. For me, I'm going to check for roots. Add the old branches. Ta-da! Moss is good. at the end of the line, and I need this dirt to go on top down there. They're heavy. I can do this. You might put all that dirt in a wheelbarrow, and you might want to wheelbarrow it all the way to the end. But you might be so tuckered out that you lose your balance, and it might tip over and dump the dirt where you don't want it. And then you might say one of those words that you're not supposed to. Don't ask me how I know. Hey, if this video's been helpful, hit that like button. And don't miss out on any more videos. You want to subscribe, right? There. That's as good as it needs to get for now. When it comes time to plant, I'll loosen that up a little bit more and get it a bit more even.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.